Simelang Absheni Ralocha Sanwanani Mulweni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our community. Now, the Kenyan government has launched an ambitious livestock vaccination campaign, and this is set to begin this week, but it has actually sparked fierce resistance among farmers, many of whom are spreading and reacting to what can only and what the government described as misleading claims about vaccines. Now, this is a campaign that has been touted as a much needed initiative to protect Kenya's livestock sector, which is one of the largest in Africa, by the way. But before we dive into the politics and the drama surrounding it, let's take a step back, right? What's at the heart of this controversy? The Kenyan government aims to vaccinate 22 million cattle and 15 million goats and sheep in the next 3 years, which is an ambitious goal. But the vaccines are free of charge for the farmers, with the government footing the bill. But yet, some farmers are resisting the program with increasing intensity, and the cause, apparently, it's misinformation and conspiracy theories. Now, one of the most popular and dangerous myths that has been circulating on social media is that Bill Gates, yes, the Microsoft co-founder and philanthropist, is somehow involved in funding this program, and that the vaccine's primary purpose is to reduce methane emissions from cattle. Now, the reasoning behind this, right, is that people point to Gates' past investments in climate change initiatives involving livestock. Let's have a look at this video.
As a ministry, we went to Dubai, we went to Saudi Arabia, we went to Kuwait, and we really found there's a bigger market. We asked them, do you want the goats from Baringo to reach Dubai? And they told us they like our meat, but right now, even though this meat goes to Dubai, it brings in little money because we don't have a vaccination certificate. So they told us, if you go and vaccinate your livestock, goats and sheep, we can buy your meat at a good price. And we asked them, why is the price high? Like now, during an auction, we are buying these goats. I heard Engineer Sudi say 15,000. But if you come with a vaccination certificate, you buy for 17,000. You get another 3,000 or 2 in your pocket because you have vaccinated and your meat is of high quality. President, I have heard people asking where these vaccines are coming from. Some say it comes from America. Others say it comes from Bill Gates. The president here has brought this PPR vaccine. It is made by Kevevapi. Kevevapi is the Kenya Veterinary Vaccines Production Institute. It is a government company in the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock. It is located in Embakasi, and their other factory is in Kabete. The vaccines are being manufactured by Kenyan scientists. So this talk about it coming from Bill Gates and something about injecting our cows so they stop farting, I want to say that's all nonsense.
Cows and other grass-eating species have a digestion system that emits methane, and methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas. And so cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. And so we need to change cows, just cows alone.
How are we going to do that?
Well, actually, of all the categories, the one that has gone better than I would have expected 5 years ago is this work to make what's called artificial meat. And so you have people like Impossible or Beyond Meat, both of which I invested in.
You eat it as well, and you like it?
Absolutely. You can go to Burger King and buy the Impossible Burger.
All right. Is it healthier for you or just healthier for the atmosphere?
It's slightly healthier for you in terms of less cholesterol. It's, of course, dramatic reduction in methane emissions, animal cruelty, manure management, and the pressure that meat consumption puts on land use. The main reason why we need to increase agricultural output over the rest of this century is not the population increase. It's that as countries get richer, they eat more meat, and meat is a very inefficient way of creating calories. And so it's super helpful.
Once you vaccinate these animals, and these animals feed human beings meat, milk is affected. These vaccines are actually mRNA vaccines. that they're injecting in the animals. Once you inject an mRNA, it doesn't die. It goes to the milk, it goes to the meat. So in turn, you're vaccinating the human beings through the kind of foods that they are consuming. If WHO is going to roll out a vaccine, but they've gotten 80% of funding on that project by the company that actually manufactures that vaccine, what does that tell you? Conflict of interest. This WHO that we trust is actually killing human beings in the name of health. The biggest scam in humanity was the COVID vaccine. Many people are not able to connect the dots, but you can connect these dots. You can connect the agriculture bills, the GMO, you can the vaccine, you can actually connect them to one person. Bill Gates is the one single owner of most GMO patents. So when we talk about GMO, it is him and his foundation.
Why is Bill Gates always so interested in Africa and Africa matters?
He's a psychopath. I'll just tell you. He's a representation of the globalists, the people, the proponents of the New World Order, that are so engrossed in ruling the world. They are so engrossed in controlling humanity that feel they are actually gods in their own space.
So why do our politicians act as zombies, as if they don't know these things? And what are they doing to protect their citizens?
The love of money, especially in this country, is the cause of all our problems. The love that our politicians have for money. A Kenyan politician mentioned the money and they'll push a bill that they know is coming to finish the people.
But despite reassurances from government officials and scientists, the damage has already been done. And I understand, right, the skepticism. And let's face it, when it comes to foreign influence, especially in Africa, we've seen foreign aid, vaccines, and policies pushed by global powers without transparency and often without regard for our people's well-being. So when you hear the name Bill Gates linked to a livestock vaccination campaign, the alarm bells start ringing. And yes, it is healthy to ask questions. So it seems to me that part of the resistance stems from the lack of communication from the government. And yes, President Ruto might have dismissed the opposition's views as misguided or stupid, but let's not ignore the real issue here, which is trust, right? After years of corruption scandals and unpopular tax hikes and the government facing a credibility crisis, when the public doesn't trust you, no matter how well-intentioned your policies are, you'll find yourself fighting an uphill battle. So we have to be honest, right? The way this vaccination program was introduced lacked clarity, and at first, there was very little information on what exactly the animals were being vaccinated against. And this left room for all kinds of fears and myths to flourish. So it's no wonder that someone like Robert Nkuke, who is a cattle keeper in Nankuru, says that, and I quote, "If the community here learns you are pro-vaccination, they will slay you just now." And that's how deep the resistance runs, right? It's not just about vaccine, it's about a history of miscommunication and mistrust. And I honestly respect the farmers for wanting to protect their animals, because here's the kicker, right? Why should Bill Gates' name even be attached to this at all? I mean, Africans are no longer gullible. The days of blindly accepting foreign influence without questioning it are over. This generation is smarter, more informed, increasingly unwilling to be manipulated by political elites or outside forces. And that's a good thing. What are your thoughts on this? Please, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.